Hello, Geneva, and welcome back to the Sports Shield podcast. I'm your host, Quinn Kennedy, joined here by.
Chris Suger, and we'll be talking about the upcoming NFL draft that starts next week and this last week of NBA action.
So, to kick us off, we're going to start talking about our most exciting, or not exactly most exciting, but most intriguing players in this year's draft. And first up is Kenny Pickett, who I'm fairly low on simply because he's 24 years old. He's old coming out of college.
Yes, it took him this long to look NFL ready, and playing at such a small college, I don't think that's a great thing. So being 24, it gives him only a couple of good years to develop until he's actually in his prime. So I don't think this is a great pick for any team.
And one of the biggest targets that people have been drawing Kenny Pickett to is the Carolina Panthers. And Sam Darnold is only a year and 1 day older than him. And Sam Darnold has been starting the NFL for what's about to be 5 years now.
Yeah, and Sam Darnold, yeah, he's a terrible quarterback, but Kenny Pickett, already being at 24, he could be hitting his ceiling anytime soon. So unless NFL GMs are seeing something in him that says star, I don't see any reason why he should be picked in the first round.
And the biggest highlight from Kenny I've seen is his fake slide, which I think is if he tries to pull that in the NFL, he will get his head knocked off. And I think that's just a huge mistake by him. And the fact that I've only seen one running play from him as a highlight is just a huge red flag.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Next up for me is George Pickens, a wide receiver from Georgia. I am very high on him. He's been falling because he has injury concerns because he tore his ACL finishing off the season. And I just think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFL. And I think that his deep ball or his ability to catch a deep ball is going to be a threat that any NFL team would want.
The player that I decided was interesting was Jameson Williams, along with what Quinn just said. He also got injured at the end of the year, but he has incredible potential. He has a 6'2" frame. He doesn't weigh all that much, but joining an NFL team will help him get his weight up, and I think that will help him win those jump ball plays that he's built for.
Yes. And next up, we're going to defense. I'm a defensive guy, favorable. But first up is Kyle Hamilton. He fits my perfect kind of safety. I'm very high on him. I don't care what you say about his combine. He is better than that. If you look at game tape, which is all that really, really matters, he's a great player. I mean, he's 6'4", 220, 230 almost. As a safety, he can play anywhere on the field, and he is a threat.
Yeah, he is insane. I mean, when you talk about the ability to cover the field at his size, there's not much that you can't say about him that hasn't already been said. The only question is, can he stay healthy at his size? Because a player at his size playing at that position, it's going to take a toll on his body. So my only issue with him is his health.
Next up is another terrifying freak of nature, Jordan Davis. He is a 6'6", 340-pound defensive tackle who can run a 4.78, which is faster than a lot of quarterbacks that are considered to be faster in this league. I mean, just having a guy like that being able to run through offensive lines and chase a quarterback down is just terrifying.
Yeah, this is an incredibly intriguing prospect. He is huge, and that's an understatement. He reminds me of Warren Sapp. I mean, he is athletic. He can get to the quarterback. He is quick off the bounce, and I think he'll be here to stay for a while in the NFL.
The biggest worry about him is, has he relied on his physical size too much to make the production he has in college and his physical attributes? But if he can start picking up and learning from a good defensive coach, he will be a great player for years to come.
Yeah. And one player that I think people have started to forget about is Kevon Thibodeau. His situation kind of reminds me of someone else who went to Oregon, Justin Herbert. He was widely regarded as one of the best quarterbacks to come into college football when he started playing. And he kept on waiting and kept on waiting, and his draft stock kept on tanking. And he, instead of going number one, or number two, instead of Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa, he goes after them to the Chargers. And look at him now. He's arguably the best of the three quarterbacks. You could argue Joe Burrow, obviously. But I think people are making a mistake about Kevon Thibodeau. He is a game-changing player. He is 6'7" or 6'8", and he is fast. So he may need some tweaking once he gets to the NFL, but he is a raw talent and he is young. He's a sophomore coming out of college, so teams have time to develop him into a polished pass rusher that can get after different quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. People just start to forget about players when they're so good for so long. I mean, ever since he played 1 year in college, people have been saying 2022, 2023, whatever years he decides to enter the draft, he will be the census number one overall pick. And now people have him dropping all over the board simply because other guys have come up and blossomed faster than he has in front of people. People have just forgot how good he really is.
Yeah, he should go top 5 at the very least. I believe he should be going number 1 over a lot of these players that people are saying are going to go number 1.
So next up is the NBA playoffs. They have been fully underway, and there's a lot to talk about. So we're just going to focus on 2 teams today. First up is the Timberwolves. They're down 2-1 to the Grizzlies, correct?
Well, yeah, they pulled off a shocker in Memphis last week, and it really shocked most people because most people thought that the Timberwolves didn't have a shot in this series. But they came in and took care of business in Memphis and won by 13. Now, the Grizzlies have bounced back and answered and won one in Minnesota. So I'd say the series is even right now, but the T-Wolves have made their statement that they are here and they are here to stay.
And next up is the Bulls. People were expecting them, due to their current history this season of not being good against top teams, to just instantly get 4-0'd by the Bucks. But they're currently putting up a fight, and it's 1-1.
Yes, they are playing very good right now. I think something that also plays into it is Chris Middleton has got hurt in Game 2. So we'll be seeing a different Giannis Antetokounmpo for the rest of the season, rest of the series, because they can't. It's very hard to win without Chris Middleton, who I believe is their closer.
Yeah, so that's all the news we have for you today on the Sports Show podcast. See you guys next Friday with another one. Have a good weekend, Geneva.